And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, from Pig's typical spot, right? Canada. And your boy Turf is out here in Des Moines, Iowa, with the worst internet service I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, you were saying Poland has a better connection when you were in Poland.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's wild. But hey, the show must go on, man. Apologies to the few viewers we do currently have. Appreciate you guys for showing up. Yeah, this is a special edition only because as you can see, we have no bells and whistles. Turf is in a bright yellow tech shirt. I don't even know who this tech company is. Got it from reInvent about a year ago or so. But yeah, man.
The highlighter
This
yellow
is
going.
yeah. I got the socks to match too. It's pretty hilarious.
Nice.
But yeah, man. I don't have anything in front of me to go off of, to be honest here. I probably can. I can probably cheat. Let me see if I can cheat here a little bit and pull some things up. But while we're doing that,
I can kind of point to
there are
some developing threads from training camp that I've heard about. Just kind of get
yeah,
the ball rolling.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so the
So
big
yeah,
news
going
of the day
ahead.
was Brock Bowers dropped a football, which was the first time this season that's happened. So big news.
That's funny. Yeah, and if that's what we're worried about,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
that's
know.
the headline of the day.
Right. So what I will say is the one thing that I've noticed, and I already know people are gonna say, Turf is being a Debbie Downer, and I want to capitalize on it, and I'm happy. It has nothing to do with any of those things. I'm not happy. I'm not capitalizing, but it's just facts. I mean, people are already starting to see that the rookie vibes are coming out of Mr. Fernando Mendoza, right? There's been a lot of camp talk on him not looking so good these past few days.
Yeah.
And let's be real honest here. Let's be upfront. Let's be frank, right? Let's be very transparent. Uh, those weren't the words that Mr. Kubiak was preaching, just even a few weeks ago in terms of he'd be going to battle with any of these three, right? Things along those lines. So I am curious as to what's your thoughts on the flip flopping, if you will. Shout out to Cheeto. And in terms of, hey, it feels like flip flopping to me. I mean, I don't know how you can go one way saying, hey, look, I'm ready to battle with any of these three guys. So he's having the worst day of the, or the week or whatever it is. And how things are looking, which we all should expect anyways. He's a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback. These rookie quarterbacks don't do well. So, what's your thoughts behind that?
I mean, we're not actually seeing anything coming out of camp. A lot of this is maybe a highlight or two and supplemented with people's reports. And I think it's important to take into account that the journalism is very biased. There's a lot of agendas at play, and the information we're getting is coming through many filters. So it's important to take it with a grain of salt and ensure that we wait till the preseason to make these full judgments.
Right. Nope, I agree. I totally agree. And we got our first chat. That's Squinkle. Squinkle213 says sup. Sup to you, Squinkle213. Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. And obviously, as I've already stated, we don't have any bells and whistles today, ladies and gentlemen. So just bear with us, and we will definitely shout out and do all the things we normally do as we go through the course of today. But yeah, I don't know. I am. It's to be expected for me. I'm not. I was never high on Mendoza to begin with. It's only a matter of time before another team shows us that, if you will, right? That's the thing. Like, this is his own team. And again, I know they've given Max Crosby all the praise, right? Trying the game plan for him alone is a problem. We get it. Max is great, but I'm sorry, man. I'm not buying it. I never bought it to begin with. Um, and what really bothers me, I mean, I'm jumping around, but we're in this quarterback room, and I have to say it, dude. Kirk Cousins looks old. Old.
Yeah, I mean, even the Carr brothers were kind of weighing in on that, and it became a bit of a media thing where Derek Carr's brother, David Carr, was commenting on the way Cousins was looking, and then Cousins kind of, I think, ran a sprint in rebuttal to David Carr's comments, which is, I mean, to kind of touch on both the Mendoza topic and the Kirk being old topic, I think some of the tamping down of Mendoza is to create expectation gap between Kirk and Mendoza. They don't want Mendoza coming on hot and then Kirk looking cold and then having this fan pressure to start Mendoza over Kirk. So the reporters are kind of allowing the gap to large through narrative reporting to put less pressure on Mendoza.
Right. Just real quick, you are choppy. I just want to make sure you're not choppy to everybody else.
I'm hearing because I'm probably picking up audio off my own.
Oh. Huh.
So
okay. Okay. As long as the audience can hear, everybody's good. I'm fine. I can deal with it. I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure nobody's like, hey, Pigs is stuff is off. Shout out to Noah Brown. Hates. Yo, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming through, Noah. Hope you enjoy the show. But no, I think you definitely brought up some good points. Some backtracking going on.
Yeah. Do you have audio coming through just your headphones or?
It's just my headphones.
I mean, I could join on the my headphones and then just have another avatar.
I mean, so I think it's starting to sound fine.
Yeah, I listened on the stream and it is a bit garbled, but it's
right now it sounds great though. That's what I mean. I don't know what you did, but yeah, it sounds great now.
Yeah, fair enough. It could be the iPhone picking up the signal and like preventing it from stacking or amplifying. But another point, I think Thornton dropped a couple of touchdown passes, which might have hyped up Mendoza talk a little bit because those passes were from Mendoza.
Really? I didn't hear that part. Again, you're talking about another guy that I immediately lost confidence in, and I consider him a flag football player at this point moving forward, and that is Mr. Thornton. I mean, speed is not everything in this game. Sure, it absolutely is a lot. It's something you can't teach. But route running, the ability to take a hit, let alone give a hit, and not be afraid out there, it means a lot. And I don't see that in Thornton Jr. at all. I really don't see him having a long-term career, if you will, without being a one-trick pony. He's got to be in literally the perfect setup with the perfect, offense that will allow him to just be a one-hit wonder, if you will. And I just don't see that in us. Not right now, anyways. It's very possible, right? We could have that. I mean, we are going to run a lot of 12 personnel, as they say. And the reality could be that he is that guy on the outside and they don't care. They just need somebody to take a hit, take a scream down the field and open up someone else, whether it's one of the two tight ends or it's the run game, whatever it may be. It's possible that he can fit at some point. But as of right now, no one's going to consider him a threat in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, That is a big concern because that was the entire point of drafting him, was that he'd be able to clear out those deep routes, allowing guys to work underneath like Bowers. But he's got to make good on at least 1 or 2 catches early on to prove that he's a threat deep. And so they have to respect and not bail off those routes to cover underneath. If he's able to do that even in preseason with a couple of big plays, I think that'll be enough to keep teams honest. But if he doesn't show up in preseason, it's going to be a liability having him on the field because there's going to be no trust with our quarterbacks throwing to him if he's dropping balls, especially critical deep balls, because it's just better to get someone in there who has a higher chance of catching those balls, even if they don't have the speed or the height.
Yep, I agree. Shout out to Jack Gustafus there, 4490. Did I say that right this time, Jack? Appreciate you for coming through, my guy. Hope you enjoy the show. And Pigs, you sound great right now to me. Period.
Cool.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what's changed.
I turned the audio way down on my phone, so it's less stuff to pick up on the microphone.
Yeah. Okay. So it definitely made a huge change.
Cool.
So perfect. No, perfect, man. Yeah. So I mean, we're in a tough place. We worked out quite a few wide receivers, and in fact, I believe we signed one. Correct. That should tell you where we are in that room. Anyone that has confidence in that room is absolutely crazy. I'm sorry. I just don't see where anyone would gain any kind of confidence based on what we already knew coming into the season and how things are going. I mean, sure, I guess Mr. Naylor's doing well, but I haven't heard anything from him during camp either. Let alone, my home team favorite in terms of Trey. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Is it the quarterback play? Is it right? Is it the wide receivers themselves?
I think Benson, the Oregon wide receiver, is getting the most buzz right now as far as looking the part or kind of meeting expectations or surpassing expectations even. Everyone else is kind of either coming in on expectation or under. Benson is a little above.
Yep, that's what I've heard as well. And that can't be a good thing for us, right? Because you already know he's going to also have problems as a rookie, if you will. Every rookie does, no matter, right? And Jigba, all these guys, they at some point they got figured out a little bit, right? And not always, not always did it come to fruition after the fact. And I'm concerned, man. I am very, very concerned about our wide receiver room. I've been preaching this from day one. I've been crying about not having a true number one wide receiver. I don't hear anything going on in this room. We didn't pick anything up. I just don't understand how everything else is supposed to work when you don't have any kind of threats on the outside.
No, it's true. We're relying on our tight ends and our running backs to be threats in the passing game as much as our wide receivers, which really shouldn't be the case. And it's been ongoing, it seems, for forever. We had spots with Crabtree, Nelson Aguilar, Cooper, obviously, and a few others. But for the most part, we've not had consistency for decades at wide receiver. And that hurts the quarterback as well. So Mendoza, like, if we're expecting him to take over, we better have our wide receivers unlocked by the time he makes it under center. But one consideration I think is worth making around Thornton is that big X wide receivers bust all the time. It's the number one bust rate in the NFL for any position. And so it's important that if we don't see progress coming out of the offseason, that we cut bait sooner than later. Reason being is that it's better to just move on to another potential body to develop. And if they're making improvements in the offseason, then that's encouragement to continue developing them. And if they're not making those leaps or jumps in the offseason, then it shows that the player is really just not cut out for it, like so many big X's are before. I think it's something like 80% of highly drafted big X wide receivers are out of the league or not relevant as far as stats.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's the honest truth is it's probably just as equivalent to the quarterback as far as first round draft picks. I mean, a lot of people don't comprehend that these first round draft picks in terms of quarterbacks usually don't pan out. The number is more than 80%. And I'm talking first round in general. We're not even discussing the first pick, right? Because the first pick is atrocious. Trust me, you don't want to do those numbers, which is one of the reasons I was 100% against getting this guy in terms of Mendoza, and we're going to feel this for at least half a decade, no question about it. And the thing is, he may be great, guys, but the reality is he's not going to be great for us. That's just facts. I mean, and I pray I'm wrong. I pray that we finally have the tables turn in our favor, right? In the NFL gods, give us a solid and do us, some justice here of the horrendous amount of quarterback breaks we haven't had and go in our way. But I just don't see it. I mean, name the number one pick quarterbacks that have stayed with their team and won something. I mean, you can't even count them on two fingers, probably.
That's not a long list, no. And guys like Stafford, they didn't have success with the team that drafted them. They went to another team, and that's
and immediately won a Super Bowl. Absolutely, yeah. And that's what I think. Look, Sam Darnold, right? We can go down the list of the guys that were pretty much thrown away. And this is the funny thing because look, I have to bring it up. I know that guys are going to be laughing at this. It's going to be, turf, give it a rest kind of thing. But already this thing is shaping up for Aiden O'Connell to not only win this battle, but if he actually can boogie with, right, Kubiak's offense and finally, kind of get something going with his, seventh offensive coordinator in 5 seasons? Like, it's there. And it makes a lot of sense. But my question is, what do we do, Raider Nation, if we are put in the same exact position as the Vikings? What do you do? Right? Because, see, look, I get it. Everyone's going to say, forget about it. He stinks, right? He's just not a Raider. I've even said it's time for him to move on. I can be honest about that because the truth is, I don't think we're ever going to be in a position for him to actually be capable of showing his best, if you will, in Aiden O'Connell. And I've already said it before that I think he will do pretty well somewhere else. And I didn't say, right, he's going to be a Pro Bowler or win the Super Bowl, but I could see him being in the league for a decade.
Sir, you might have dropped your internet there. Well, just to continue on the Aiden O'Connell topic, I do agree. O'Connell's got a good opportunity here to potentially get the starting role and run with it. And if he does, that'll be a problem for us re-signing him as a backup because he'll have many offers on the table from other teams if he does have the opportunity to show some of that stuff, even if it's in preseason. And I think that O'Connell is a guy that will have developed more than other players during the offseason. His work ethic as well as his belief in process is what's going to allow him to continue moving forward on that development plane, even if he's not getting the payoff in terms of being played or getting the success and accolades. He's going to continue grinding in off seasons and when he's not a starter. And that's not the case for all quarterbacks, but for him in particular, I think that's one of his strengths, is that he's going to persevere even when there's a challenge or an adversity he has to overcome.
Yep. And he's shown that his entire career, everywhere he's gone. And I really am curious as to what Raider Nation does. Do you throw him away if he all of a sudden has a great season? That's my question. What happens now? Are you really going to be the Vikings and lean on what very well could be J.J. McCarthy right there staring you in the face? See, and that's the other part where I'm going to get a whole lot of hate, right? Calling Fernando Mendoza J.J. McCarthy. I admit that's a complete stretch. That is a disrespectful thing to say. I'll be honest, right? But
I mean, it's a fair parallel. They're both championship quarterbacks in college, so that's fair comparison.
playing in a system that does well for their skill sets,
Yes.
right? And it's something to be and it's something to be said, man. I never wanted to give up on O'Connell. But I got beat down like everybody else, man. I'll be honest. I just
Yeah,
got
that
beat
season with
down. I got
AP, that was it. Our expectations were high, and it was deflated massively when we were told that O'Connell wasn't the guy and that Gardner was
Yep.
better. And then we saw Gardner play like dog shit, and O'Connell sat on the bench. So that basically deflated the, I guess you could say, the momentum behind O'Connell's
right.
ascent.
Right. Absolutely. And to be fair, when he did get back on the field that season because of, Minshew stinking it up, he didn't look that much better than the previous year. And I mean, he still looked like a kid that was stuck in mud.
Well, you're throwing him into the middle of a moving car and expecting him to drive it. It's just it's not a good situation for a quarterback to be in. Any quarterback, like, you prefer to have the off season, take #1 reps, develop the chemistry with your guys, and lead people where they believe in you. Like, if you're coming into the game where the team has already given up on the previous quarterback, that's not exactly helping the next guy step into that spot.
Yeah, and then, I mean, last but not least, the offensive line, right? I mean, we already knew he had no feet, right? So the line never got any better. I mean, that was obvious. And we saw what happened when we got Geno Smith. The line even got worse, if that was even possible.
Yeah.
So,
O'Connell
it's
will always be
really
limited by
tough.
that. He needs a great offensive line around him, and arguably he needs a run game, and he needs receivers who are ultra reliable, because he's not necessarily looking for the big plays. He's looking for consistency, which requires that reliability.
Right.
And then
Right.
as well, the pocket issue, like at the end of that season with Gardner Minshew, I believe there was a pick thrown in the last game that was kind of a nail in the coffin for O'Connell as far as belief in him into the next season. And we picked up Geno as a result of that. But I blame that pick 100% on DJ Glaze. I think we were shielding DJ Glaze from too much criticism because he was a rookie right tackle, and we wanted him to make that next jump in the following season. And so we were kind of too lenient on some of his performances in that rookie campaign. And that interception, I watched that play a bunch. I'm confident that if he made his block, O'Connell doesn't throw that pick. He didn't make his block. He got pushed back into O'Connell. O'Connell had an awkward throwing motion. It was a bad outcome because of that.
Yeah, well, speaking of, shout out to Steve Jones in the building. What's up, Turf? Is DJ Glaze our lineman equivalent to Brandon Parker? Oh, that is so strong of a player to bring up in terms of offensive line. He's probably the worst offensive lineman we have ever had in life. And I'm telling you, it got so bad, I felt terrible. I felt terrible for having to call out Brandon Parker, but it was that bad. It got so bad, it was just like, man, why are they even doing this to the kid? Why keep putting him out there? He's literally hands down the worst line at the Oakland Raiders, the LA Raiders, worst lineman we've ever had in our lifetime. And for Cuz to say DJ is even in this, that hurts. That hurts because I'll be honest, I actually like DJ Glaze, but I'm not blind and I'm not stupid. Like, I see the numbers and I know that they didn't go well for him. Right.
Yeah, Glaze has the right temperament for an offensive lineman, and he's got a good body type, and strength is there, technique is there. The main issue that I've seen with Glaze, and I think a lot of other people have recognized, is that he's just a bit too clunky with his feet for offensive tackle against speed rushers. And speed to power rushers in particular are able to take advantage of that. And if he were moved inside to guard, that would obviously help alleviate the feet issue. But then again, we're overloaded at guard and thin at tackle, so that's not really helping us.
Yeah, and to be honest, are we even really overloaded at guard, right? Because none of
Well,
them really,
I just if
stand
you
out
take into
either,
account
if you
that you have
will.
JPJ in a battle, like I
And
just
and
JPJ
JPG,
shouldn't be beat out by Glaze, but it could happen because JPJ is not really a guard; he's a center.
correct. And I mean, we're seeing these problems, man. Shout out to Coach Sid and Jamba Juice in the building. Appreciate you coming through. His question is, should they put Charles Grant at right tackle? It's an interesting question. I'm ready and willing to put anybody at right tackle that may fit, right? Trey Coon, he's been playing pretty much
Yeah,
every position.
yeah,
Center, guard,
100%.
and tackle.
I think that's everyone's
You
hope is that
know,
Zune forces someone out of a spot.
yes, I think you're absolutely right. And in fact, we're talking about this and don't know, let you know where we are come preseason in quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's going to be an interesting question. Who starts at quarterback preseason? Are they really going to put AOC out there? I have a feeling that AOC is the most prepared quarterback that we have in the room. Yep, I
Yeah,
said it. I'm going back. I'm going to say how I feel about this stuff. I don't care how people feel. I don't care that you're tired of ALC. I don't care about any of that. The reality is the kid is going to be better prepared. He's seen way many more everything than every other quarterback in that room that's not old. I just it's facts. And I'm telling you, putting AOC out there, I think that's going to be a problem. Like, how does Kirk get his job back? That's how I'm looking at it, because if he looks decent, Kurt's not getting the job back. And then what
no,
if he looks decent throughout the rest of the season?
yeah, and the reports coming out of camp seem to be really hyping Kirk up, and it I don't know how natural that is. Like, why does Kirk need the media kind of hyping him up, saying he's making these unbelievable throws that are unfair to the defense? Like, he's literally one of the oldest quarterbacks in the entire league with the most snaps and the most passes. Like, it kind of goes without saying that he's taking advantage of young defenders who don't know any better until
Yes.
they get their feet wet. Like,
Yes.
that's kind of just assumed that will happen when you have someone who's kind of a gamer or clever. But AOC, as far as going against the competition, I believe in him more than Kirk. Kirk's injury history combined with his wear and tear on his body just isn't giving a lot of confidence to believing that he can make it through an entire season. And if that's the case, then why are we giving him all the first reps versus AOC, who, yes, he's had injuries in the past, but I blame those injuries on very shitty offensive line play that he was basically set up for. I remember AOC in the preseason last season, and I was saying they should take him out of the game because he's going to get hurt, and then he got hurt. And that wasn't really anything that he could do to avoid unless he was just going to the ground after getting the ball snapped to him, which is kind of a waste of
Was that when
preseason.
was that the wrist? Yeah, was that the wrist or the thumb issue that he hit when he hit the helmet with his hand or something like
Yeah,
that?
I think it was who was that tackle that we cut right after, and then we signed Forsyth. There was a Byron Parker-esque player.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I
You know
remember.
what I'm talking about. He's
I
like
know
Byron
what you're talking
Parker-esque,
about.
but he was on the team forever, and then he
Brandon.
got cut right after that game because he blew the block that got
Yeah.
O'Connell hurt. And it was so obvious that
Correct.
he just didn't put effort into it, and then it cost our quarterback. It cost him an injury. So it's like if the tackle doesn't care about the health of our backup quarterback, then he shouldn't be on our team. Like,
Correct.
that was eye opening when they actually cut him after that.
Yeah.
It kind of it gave
Literally
a bit
right
of
after the
confidence
game.
that the regime was like taking it serious. That players' effort on the field will have consequences. Like,
Correct. Yeah, there are just so many problems with this team, guys. There are so many problems, and I don't know how we overlook them, especially starting at that front line, man. I just don't think how we expect anybody to get going. Like, that's the other thing. Like, when have we seen any quarterback, have any kind of time to do anything
Yeah, it was
in the last
Thayer
5
Munford.
years?
Thayer
Thayer
Munford.
Mumford.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rundown, my nephew. That was one of his favorite guys. Yes. Thayer, and he actually got picked up by the Giants. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it said that he's on the practice squad with the Browns, but now he's back in New England. He went to New
Oh,
England, then
really?
the Browns, then back to New England.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, he was a favorite of Rundown. And I mean, he was a better guard than tackle. That was the problem, I thought. I believe Rundown felt the same way. He was a better guard than the tackle, and we needed him for tackle, and it just didn't work out, right? So,
Yeah, Munford
yeah.
had the crazy body, like 6'5.5" and like 35-inch arms. Like that's lab specimen, but I don't know, something similar to Tyree Wilson. Just you couldn't build him better, but then just lacked the football. What do you call it? Urgency? I guess you could say urgency. I think is the word. Like Tyree
Right.
lacked urgency, and same with Munford. Like situational awareness, that kind of thing.
You know what I equate it to? Yeah. It's really, you know what it is? This is the honest truth. They're just thinking. They're out there thinking. They're not playing. And that's what happens when you have to play and think, right? When you're the best thing on your team, right? And there's not a whole bunch of best people on the team. They can build around you, Texas Tech, and just let you just run and do, and it doesn't matter, right? And you aren't thinking, so you just look great while you're doing it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the NFL, it's impossible to not have to think at some point, because you're going to need to know, especially on the line, right? You have people, making changes to that defensive front in a split second as soon as the ball is hyped. Like that, they actually wait and disguise things accordingly. I don't think those guys did well, right? Same thing for the offensive line, right? Offensive line does the same thing, right? They may shift last minute. Kyrie didn't do well with that.
Yeah. Yeah, Munford was an interesting guy. Like I wish he, as Rundown was saying, like moved to guard and got a shot there before cutting him, because we potentially could have
Right.
used him there. But yeah, a bit interesting how that played out. It
Correct.
almost seemed like he was cut as a direct
Yeah.
reaction to that preseason game.
It did look like that, and it could have been. It could have just been right. They were already going to do it regardless. Or did they? Did they actually cut him, or did we trade him? Did we
No,
trade him and
he
we
was
got something? I thought we got
released.
something.
He was
He was
released
let go,
August 27th,
and the Giants
so
picked
it
him
was
up.
during preseason.
And the Giants picked him up. That's right.
Yeah,
No, it makes
he went
sense.
to the practice squad for New England.
Wait, you're talking about this year? No, I'm saying when he was on our team, I'm pretty sure we got something for him from the Giants. Now you got me digging.
Munford only played for New England and Cleveland.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, he was not. He was waived, 2025. That is so weird. I could have sworn we got something for him. Yeah, that's sad.
No.
I mean, it's par for the course, though. It's par for the
all
course.
Things considered, he was a 7th-round pick. He probably
Right.
should have been a higher pick. I think they said he dropped in the draft, probably over questions about what position he was. Like, is he a guard or is he a tackle?
Correct.
Usually those guys drop.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, unfortunately. I just don't see where things change for us this year based on the offensive line.
Well, you mentioned before,
I'm just
like
not
Zune
sure
might take a job. That might kick things off as far as getting them moving in the right direction. If Zune steps into a starting role and becomes the leader on that line, like that could be a turning a new page. because
Right.
it
So
does
that
need
gives us
leadership.
3 solid guys. That would give us 3 solid guys, right? That would give us, right, Miller for the first 8, games. It'll give
Right.
us our center we just purchased, and then
Mhm.
Kuhn himself. I just, man, who are the other 2 that are going to fill that void? JPJ, for all I know, I feel like he's being dealt any second. I believe we're going to try to get whatever we can for him and move on. He's
Who?
not
Who?
he's not a guard.
Oh,
JPJ,
JPJ.
he's not a guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a guard. We
I,
know
I, wa-
that.
I would I would anticipate a team needing a center like the Browns might go after him.
Yes, it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense. Um, yeah, and then we really don't have both guards solidified. Like, who do we have? The kid they moved from center last year, who was actually better at guard. What's his name?
Yeah, Meredith.
Meredith. I'm thinking he can be a solid guard.
Yeah.
But that's just one. That's just
I know
one out of what
805
other 2?
loves Meredith at guard. That's his guy at guard, but not
He
at center.
does. That's his guy. No, nobody liked him at center, and rightfully so. Same
No.
thing for JPJ. Nobody liked him at guard, rightfully so. But center, he was awesome. He was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone loved him. And we were just nervous that, another concussion was coming based on his way of playing, not,
Yeah.
his effort is just through the roof, right? I mean, the guy was 15, 20 yards downfield trying to murder somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't like that.
I mean, it makes the game very exciting to watch. Like, I was much more entertained by those games that he was playing center. But it was also a bit scary in the sense that you didn't know on like a pointless nothing play, like 3rd and 30. You didn't know if he was going to get a concussion on a screen pass because he's like trying to
Yes.
blow someone up. Well, meanwhile, the running
Or
back's already been
downfield.
tackled like 5 yards gain.
Yep. He received a few illegal hands downfield, I recall. He had his issues. He has his issues,
Yeah.
as every player does.
But I would argue
But
some of those issues came
yeah,
from the
I
fact
don't.
that we were messing with him early on with his development, saying I think he was injured, and then we weren't really starting him at center. We were putting him at guard, and then our center got hurt, Andre James, and then he stepped in and took over. But he wasn't really set up to play center in his
If
first
you want
year,
to
and
call
so he
him a
kind of
center.
emergency center.
Right. Correct. And then, I mean, yeah, the whole him, welcoming Ashton Janty and Mr. Peter and his son, they totally screwed that up. I don't know. I'll never forgive those guys for that. Peter's son
No,
better never have another coaching job. I'll
it
never forgive him for
it's
what he did.
it's as if they wanted to put their own mark on the team and didn't want to acknowledge that the previous regime had set up some pieces for them that they were kind of a slam dunk.
Yes.
They took a slam dunk and made it hard.
Exactly. Correct. And I'll just never forgive them for that. I'll never forgive them for that. They didn't play any of our rookies, right? So we didn't know what we had. That was the other big problem. We're still trying to figure that out now. I mean, yeah, it's nice to hear that Tonka's getting first team reps, and it looks like he's gonna be that guy on the line next to Butler, right? And
But they were saying Tonka was one
I
of the
don't.
guys last year who was thinking too much, like constantly overthinking, because Pete Carroll was telling him one thing, defense was coordinators were telling him another thing, and then he was caught kind of second guessing his play style.
Correct. And I think a lot of guys had that issue. It was easy to see. I mean, you can't be that bad. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, it's impossible to be that bad. It's just the reality of you're overthinking it. Too much thinking. And I mean, I even remember playing and having to think too much and it not go well for me. Right? That's just the harsh reality of it. You need to know your playbook every which way, inside and out. And there's no excuse for, well, it's a new coordinator, new playbook, new, right? None of that really matters, man. You need to know what you're doing out there. Otherwise, thinking and trying at the same time it's never going to go well.
I've got a good example that I think everyone can relate to. Whenever like a tree falls across like a gap and you walk across that tree, as long as you're just looking ahead and walking, it's no issue for crossing as long as it's a wide tree. But as soon as you look down and
Right.
start considering how high off the ground you are and thinking about what could happen if you fall, suddenly your legs become shaky, you start sweating, and your feet stop
Yes.
moving forward, and you just stand there in freeze. Like that's
You
a classic
freeze.
kind of response to having momentum and then having that
Overthinking.
momentum interrupted with thinking that's bringing you out of forward progress and bringing you into reversion or yeah, moving backwards.
No, that's a great analogy. No, that's a fabulous analogy. You're absolutely right. Right. It's like the tightrope guy, you're doing great till you look down. That's an absolute great analogy. And it's just a lot of our players did that. I think that was one of the main issues with McDaniels, right? If you think back,
Oh yeah.
and I think he still has that problem with a lot of players, right? There's no way you
Yeah.
tell me that Travion Henderson shouldn't be out there just killing it. And
No.
it's already been said plenty of times that he's always thinking, he's overthinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
That
what,
that
and
that I think that in some ways was McDaniel's defense mechanism was instead of people like over analyzing him and assessing his work and his performance, he would turn the spotlight on his players or on his coaches and have them over focus on themselves to get the attention off him and the lack of I guess success he was having. He was putting it on his players and stressing them to high heaven. Like guys like Max Crosby and
right.
Devontae Adams look seriously stressed around McDaniels to the point where it's like guilt and shame, like these weird emotions that are very undermining to an athlete, stuff that you shouldn't have anywhere near your athlete. We're constantly in the locker room, all this like weird guilt and shame around like performance. like uh,
Yep.
McDaniels, I think, was using that as like a bit of a buffer to prevent any of those feelings himself. And it was all guised under like this professional process, which I don't know. It didn't work in Denver, so I don't know why we gave him a second shot at that. Like that
No one
process was not
understands
working.
why. I mean, and he's right where he should be. And they're very lucky from last year. I don't see them having as good of a year. Shout out to my dogs, Fibs, and all of you Patriot fans. I honestly just don't see you guys having another year like that.
Yeah, Drake May was
I
too
think it's
efficient.
gonna. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to regress. In
He
my
was too
opinion,
efficient. Like those numbers were unsustainable.
yes, 100%. And I think you see that come out this year. They are going to make some bad decisions personnel wise. I think. They've
Well,
already got
they got
AJ
AJ
Brown,
Brown, didn't
right?
they? For
Yes, and
Drake
that's
May.
what I'm saying. Like, exactly. And what if that doesn't work? What if that doesn't
That's a
pan out?
gamble. It's a gamble.
That's
It
a
could pay off, but it could
big.
blow up.
The key is it should pay off. That's the thing. It should pay off. I mean, that should be Drake May's dream to get an AJ and be able to throw
Yeah.
him the ball. He's already
Yeah.
got his coach, right? He's already got his coach. And I mean, it already showed what they can do in terms of Vrabel with this kid. I
Yeah.
don't remember who
Vrabel
was
loved
his
him.
quarterback.
Vrabel
Well,
did
who
not
was
want
his
to get rid
quarterback?
of AJ Brown.
He didn't have a good quarterback.
I think it was
Yeah,
like
what did he
Tannehill for
have
a
like
while and
Kinderbaugh, Tannehill? Yeah. I
Tannehill.
mean,
Yeah.
he was killing it with Tannehill.
Yeah. And
Like,
he's not a deep ball
and
thrower, so kind of nuts.
exactly. So it's interesting to see. I was never a believer in Drake May. Again, I did not want him. If anyone recalls, I did not want him. I did not see him as what
Well,
everybody else expected.
even if he fell,
I didn't want him.
like to 10.
Yeah, I didn't want him at all. I didn't want him at all. I'll be honest, everyone knew I wanted, just like AB, I wanted
Jaden.
Daniels, Jaden Daniels. Everybody knew. I mean, who didn't want Jaden Daniels other than who are the idiots that picked the Cam, it was Cam, right? Picked Cam Ward, the Titans. I think they picked Cam Ward over Jaden Daniels. And I don't think it's worked. No, that was they picked Caleb Williams, right? It was the Caleb
Yeah,
Williams
first
draft.
overall, Caleb Williams.
First
Cam Ward
overall was Caleb
next year.
Williams.
Yeah.
Next year, the year after.
Yeah.
But I still stand 10 toes down, man, on Jaden Daniels being a better quarterback than Caleb
You know what's
Williams.
crazy? Do you remember that end of the season prior when we were trying to determine whether to win those final games or lose them because of our draft position, and
Right.
we had AP really motivating the team, and then the fan base was totally divided as to whether or not that was a good thing because most of the fan base seemingly wanted the higher pick. I personally wanted the lower pick for two reasons. I truly believe Brock Bowers was going to fall to us middle of the first because I didn't believe a team was going to gamble on a shorter, more pass catching wider tight end just because they don't translate to the NFL hardly ever. It's like
Correct.
one in maybe 20 will translate. But I truly thought that he was going to be available in that middle round, and so those wins would have helped AP establish a culture. And then in addition, we still would have been able to land potentially the best guy in the draft from my perspective, as far as we weren't going to get the first overall pick or top 5 pick. So outside of that, I felt Bowers was our best option.
He was. I mean, and he was the best player of that draft. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that. You'd be crazy to argue that.
Yeah, he's not like other players. He's something different for sure.
Absolutely. And I can admit that. And that's the thing. You've already seen the videos, right? You know, and speaking of, don't forget, hit those thumbs up, right? Hit those like buttons and do all the housekeeping in terms of subscribing and hitting the notification bell, last but not least. So that way, you know we're here and you don't have to catch the replay like my dog D Menace or a few of the others. Yeah. Sometimes they come through on the back end and, check us out after the fact, which is cool as long as you tune in, right? We know people have lives. But yeah, man, there's just so much not good with this team. And people, I think people are seeing it though. I'll be honest. I do think they're starting to now come down to the level playing field and really seeing what it is that we have, which is a lot of nothing. And I'm seeing guys that are giving us a ceiling of 6 games, 5 games. And that's accurate. I have us at 4 games. And it's for all of these reasons.
There's so many games that come down to one score, and it's kind of coin flippish as to whether a team wins that. So it's kind of like they could win 4 games or they could win 7 games. It just depends on if they get a few of those one-score games going their way. But it doesn't mean they're a great team because they got 7 or 8 wins versus 4 wins. It just means that it went their way on those coin flips.
Got lucky. 100%. And it's the funny thing because I think that's the only way we get to 6 games as a win is a couple of those games that just so happen to go our way for some odd reason. But it's going to be tough for even those. Very tough.
Like the time the New England Patriot player Jacoby Myers threw Chandler Jones rather pick 6 that was like the most random pick 6 I've ever seen.
Yes, that stuff isn't going to happen. It's just not.
Well, it shouldn't, no, but inevitably.
No, it's not. Shout out to Coach Simanjamba Juice. Meredith is a better guard. He's not starter caliber. I would agree.
Yeah, Meredith isn't a powerful player who's going to dominate every matchup, but he's going to be reliable and maybe have advantageous matchups.
I agree. I don't.
Hello? Surf? I think your internet's dropped for a second there. But just to follow up on the Meredith discussion, he is a very good player, very technically sound, very smart, and I can see why Tom Brady, I think it was Tom Brady, wanted him at center. He saw him as like a Kelsey, dollar store Kelsey kind of. But it didn't come to be because I think his lack of strength got very exposed, or maybe it was just the coaching and some of the scheme in combination that made it more obvious that his power was lacking. But yeah, guard, it just seemed that he was always in the right position, body-wise, getting advantageous position. So even though he didn't have the power to overpower defensive tackles, at least he was able to get in their way and make it difficult for them to make plays on the running back.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Meredith has good positioning, but not necessarily the power.
Yeah, and that's why he's not a starter. He's definitely a great person if you have an injury, right? If you need some plays, you need breathers, and an emergency. Yeah, I'm not, panicking because he's out there. But at the same time, I understand that I'm not going to call the same plays, right? And have to do things more towards his strength, which means you're for any offensive lineman at that critical point.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, I'm with you. I don't think he's a starter. Go ahead.
Yeah, I still think that was Tom Brady who had a hand in getting Meredith to play center. I don't think we'll ever hear it attributed to whose decision that actually was, but no one came out and claimed it as their own. So I doubt it was Chip Kelly. Like that seems kind of like a random thing for Chip.
And when that happens, I'm putting it all on Tom Brady. Sorry, Tom. But yeah, you're lucky I don't have my buttons today, Tom. Because I am not happy with Tom's job. Again, we've already discussed it. He's got the ability to come in and out as he sees fit, and point the finger, even though we know he's the one that did it. I mean,
Turf, you dropped. Your internet dropped. Well, just to parlay on this Tom Brady topic, I think it is kind of ridiculous that our training camp is starting and perhaps the most crucial time of the entire season, kind of getting momentum building and establishing a culture. He's a no-show for this. He's on his private yacht, cruising around some waterways, doing stuff that seemingly, if our players were aware of it, would make them wonder what he's contributing when he does things like have Meredith move to center whilst he's on a yacht. Like, I don't think he should have any input if that's how he's spending his time, and that's his track record thus far. Is like having us draft round 7 quarterbacks and move guards to center. Like this is obscure moves that seemingly are done in order to take credit for them if they work out. And Tom Brady's moves did not work out, and he didn't take responsibility for
internet service.
Yo, Turf, you're back. Turf's internet is on the fritz at the hotel.
This is so bad.
Are you back? You're back.
Whoa, this is so bad. Apologies. There has to be, I guess, what, Starlink? We got to find something. There's got to be a way to have a reliable internet when you're out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamba Juice made another comment.
At some point, we have to have.
Do you see that comment? He's saying that we're set with Burford and Maffei at left guard. as far as our coaches' belief in those players. The Mafi one is interesting because he hasn't necessarily played that well, but perhaps he's showing something that we weren't able to see last year just due to coaching and scheme. I think Mafi, I anticipate, might have had a exceptional offseason and is in better shape this season. I think part of his issue last season was that he wasn't necessarily in football shape when he was plugged in. So with a full off-season working under our strengthening and conditioning, I think Mafi will come back and show us something new this season that he wasn't able to last season. And that will be big for us because I don't really care for Burford. He seems like he's on the downtrend, whereas Mafi might have something in the tank as far as potential. I think he was only drafted like 4 years ago, so he might be like 27, 28, something like that. Under 30. I should check. Antonio Mafi age. Oh, he's only 25. Back? Okay.
Are we back?
I was just looking into Mafi. I knew he was drafted just a couple of years ago, but he's only 25. Surf? Surf?
Man. Yep, nothing I can do, guys.
Oh, I can hear you there.
Enter sucks here.
Mafi in 2000 or in 2022, Mafi was almost 400
finally
pounds.
Back? Yeah, am I finally back here?
Yeah, I can hear you now, and I can see you. Jamba. Yeah, it says in college he was like 370 plus pounds. So dude has lost a lot of weight, and I imagine can still get in better shape. Like these big dudes take a long time to reshape their body composition. So 3 years ago, 277, like, yeah, that's like a multi-year project to get into serious NFL shape from 377. I expect this past offseason was big for him. Yeah, I would say Mafi is a player that I'm quite interested in. I think he's a good culture fit. He obviously has the
there we
background that aligns with some of our other players.
I think I'm good now.
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Finally. Yeah, I killed my my hot spot. It just wasn't working. Yeah, it wasn't working. Wasn't working well. But
but with the hotspot, you had consistency, whereas with the hotel internet, it cuts in and out every couple minutes. Yeah, here's a quote from Mafi's coach: "If you lose the weight, you'll have a shot." Like he made it down to 340 from 377 before his final season in college. So that's interesting. Dudes, they get up to that weight and are still able to play a sport at a high level that requires so much athleticism. I see, Jamba, you're saying Burford's only at 300 pounds. That is pretty suspect. I'd be okay with around 300 at center, but these days you need 310, 320 with a lot of upside power to deal with the kind of tackles in the league today. The Chris Jones of the world are multiplying. You need to be able to counter that with a Mafi-esque player. We'll probably see if Turf comes back on. Maybe he'll give some closing thoughts for the hour, and we'll call it probably for until next week. But hopefully he can reconnect to get his final 2 cents in here.
If this actually works.
Yo, you're back. It's probably going to be cutting in and out, but you're back right now. So if you want to get some 2 cents in.
So what I did now is I completely cut Wi-Fi out. Oh. So now I'm just using 5G. Right. Okay. Yeah. And
it's smooth.
Yes, right now it's actually working as expected. I can see comments and everything is going good. So I think this is going to be the way to finish out the show, and hopefully we'll get some good timing here where it all makes sense and work for us. But shout out to Buford. I did see the comments, and I heard you having some conversation in and out there. But yeah, Buford, man, I think he's got a shot. That's the other thing. I think he very well may be that piece that solidifies. Exactly. But I think he's that piece, and I'm pulling for him, man. Shout out to Mama Buford. If y'all didn't remember, regionals, his mother was the one collecting money for the AAU regional tournament. Cool. Or meet, I should say. And so I saw her wearing the number 70 earrings, so Turf. I had to just start asking questions, and before you know it, yep. So I took a picture. I don't know if I got a chance to put it up on any of the shows yet, but I definitely will. She was such a sweetheart, man, but you could tell you didn't want to make her mad, and that's how you want your offensive guards.
Yeah.
You want them sweet, right? Because that means they got the ability to pull, right? They got some footwork, right? Things along that, but you don't want to make them mad.
No, they have that nasty edge. They can pull out at any time.
Oh man. So shout out to Mrs. Buford, man. And I'm sure I'll see them at one of the games this year. Her and Mrs. Tracy Tucker. Just fabulous people, man. Real talk. I love chatting with them. I have not been able to see Miss Tracy in person yet, but I expect that to happen. And if you don't know who that is, that's Trey Tucker's mom, man. Shout out to his whole family. They support him like no other, as right, rightfully so, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I've been pulling for Trey for some time now, and now it's time to actually start pulling for Buford too. I think he can make a difference. If he could make a difference, I wouldn't. Right? Let's be real, guys. It is what it is. It's not going to work.
From a team where he was not getting the biggest grades, but I remember SpyTech speaking on him, spoke very highly of him. So it's possible that he just wasn't in the perfect situation before, and that this is a much better fit scheme-wise.
Bingo. I think you just hit it on the head. And from what I recall in terms of conversations, San Francisco was just not a good fit.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he's found a home with us, and he has the ability to do it. So it's just a matter of if it works right or not. I mean, give somebody that. I mean, Meredith, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to play that right guard. Who's playing right guard? Is it Meredith? Is it JPJ?
It has to be JPJ unless he's getting traded.
Correct. And that might be a decent line right there. I mean, we still have DJ Glaze at right tackle, right? I don't see anybody, only Trey Kuhn might, take.
Jamba mentioned maybe Grant will push him for a starting spot, but that could be a battle that unfolds throughout the preseason.
And let's be honest, these are positive things. These are things that you want to have be the point of conversation when talking about offensive linemen, because now what happens is once somebody does win that position, you actually now have what you call depth,
Yeah.
right? Because you actually have a player that can come in and is ready to take that position literally because they've been battling it out all camp. And it was their expectation, and they are absolutely going to be pissed off and bummed that they're not the starters. So you better believe they better not be allowed a chance to get in, because they will show why they should have been the starter and vice versa. The guy that wins the starting position, he's going to play well because he knows that guy is breathing down his neck. If I give this guy one series, they might not let me back in this game. So that's what you want.
How would you what would your position be if Zune beats out say JPJ for right guard, and so you have Miller, Buford, our new center, highly paid, and then right guard be Zune over JPJ?
That would be tough, man. The kid's doing well, and clearly, if he wins the position over a guy like JPJ, it's going to be warranted. I don't think you're going to see anything given to a guy like Trey Zoom. Unlike right the Tom Brady situation, and I didn't forget Tom. I have a love-hate relationship with Tom because again, I know he went after Matthew Stafford. I know he threw the kitchen sink at Matthew Stafford, and he just decided to stay and where he's at, which is a great position, especially now. But I don't like the fact that he can behind the scenes throw his hands up when he pulls the Alex Kappa out of his behind, because Alex Kappa is he should have never been a pick,
Are
and
you, are
we
you
all know that
chalking
was Tom
Kappa up to
Brady.
Brady? You feel that was
Yes,
Brady's
oh,
relationship? Yeah,
100%,
because
that
he had
was
the
Tom
experience with
Brady.
him. Yeah.
Yes, and then isn't he a Michigan guy too? On top of it all, like he
Yeah,
came
but
from.
you could easily kind of pass it off as Spytek, because Spytek was there with the Bucks and is
That's
also a
true.
Michigan guy.
That's
So there's
true.
kind of
That is
the
true.
double on top, or the double whammy kind of thing going on
Right.
there.
No, that's true. Well, the problem I have with that in terms of
Brady would have co-signed
putting
for sure. Like Spytek and him
exactly
would have had to 100% be in alignment on that.
correct. And that's the thing, man. I don't know if they're giving Spy Tech the keys, right? Like they did Coupon Tom, right? Because we know now after the fact,
Yeah, Tom
hindsight,
had the
that
keys.
Tom had the keys and it had nothing to do with AP. And
Yeah.
that was something that everybody speculated. We all had our thoughts and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
all our opinions, right? And then it all came out in the wash that it was absolutely Coupon Tom. So I don't know, man. I just don't see that being the case with this setup, with this regime, with this front office. I believe that Tom is calling a whole lot more than you think when he wants to. And then he's right, he's casting the stones and then running behind. And hey, if it didn't work, that wasn't me. Blame this guy, blame that
Yeah.
guy. And I don't like that. I want him to just get completely out or completely in and raise your hand and say, yes, that was my fault. Like, I just need that clear cut.
I would agree with that position. That from my fan perspective, that makes sense to me. There's a lot of common sense there being applied that in the way it's currently unfolding lacks common sense. He's on his super
Correct.
yacht halfway across the world as we're starting our camp. He could be
You
there
know
kind
what
of
I'm
helping
saying?
build momentum. Instead, he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. He's creating a Twitter storm around pointless discussion.
Bingo. Bingo. What was the purpose of that, Tom? Because nobody knows. Like, and that's the thing. Dude, you should have never taken this position. Yes, become a owner, part owner, 5%, whatever the case may be. But stay out of it, though. Like, you know what I mean? Just stay completely out of it. Enjoy retirement. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy being considered and called the GOAT. Like, why do you have to go into the business side of it? This stuff rarely works, ladies and gentlemen. This stuff rarely works. I mean, there's only one guy that comes to mind that I hate to admit that he clearly did what he needed to, and that is John Elway.
John Elway. Okay, yeah, he did do pretty well at GM. He made a lot of good moves that helped that
And he
organization.
won a Super Bowl. He
Hmm.
won a Super Bowl. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
No, with Manning, yeah.
As a GM, and
Hmm.
took his quarterback. He like, bro,
He shaped that team truly to his
he
vision.
truly shaped it to the same thing I believe he probably felt he had. Like, you know what I mean? And but that's rare. John Elway was rare.
I
Some consider him the GOAT. Like,
wasn't Lynch partnering with Elway. It was Lynch as well, or
Lynch was in there too,
yeah,
which is
Lynch was
why
in there too.
he gets good praise too.
Yeah,
Which is why he's done well for the Bucks. Look at the Bucks, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're in a terrible division, but still, they do well in that terrible division.
yeah.
And
The
they're
Bucks are in an odd spot with Baker Mayfield, though. There's a lot of drama around re-signing him. So the
yes,
GM job is like it's very hard to assess, like because it's so behind closed doors. It's hard to assess what the GM's role in all that is. Like, is he
correct.
being handicapped maybe by ownership not willing to pay out for the contract, or is it truly his vision, Lynch's, to not re-sign? Like, kind of wonder about those things.
Yep. You have to, man, and that's the thing. They'll never let us know until till after the fact, and even then, you won't get it. Shout out to 805, man. Our dog in the
Yeah,
building. Yeah, you
you know,
missed out on us talking about one of your main men.
Meredith. Yeah,
Meredith, man, you missed that. You missed that conversation. It was a good one. I think you would have liked it. You would have been okay with it.
yeah. I mean,
You'd have
it
been
was a
fine.
fair assessment, and we definitely want
Yes,
Meredith around. So that's
100%. He's great. As I don't think he's a starter, but I think he's the best backup. Like absolutely, 100%. I would pay him more, right? Whatever is necessary for that particular backup role, if you will, because I trust him. I absolutely have no problem when he's in the game. I don't think you have to do a whole lot of changing anything in order for that to work. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We got some guy, and that's the thing, man. Again, shout out to Peter Carroll, for not allowing us to know what we have in these guys. And
yeah,
not
big
playing
mystery.
them,
Yeah.
not putting them out there, not getting them some work. I mean, the team, and it all came, in respect to we're gonna win now. I
Yeah,
mean, weren't we like 1-7 or 2-7? Like
it
at
was
that point,
bananas. Yeah, it made no
at that
sense.
point, why aren't you playing these guys?
Uh, yeah, I mean, he didn't even really answer during any of the press conferences. It seemed like reporters were really tiptoeing around because they wanted to show
Yes,
respect to the future Hall
yes,
of Famer. Like, I don't.
yes,
I think after this final year, I think he definitely hurt his Hall of Fame bid. He still get
oh,
in as a Hall of Famer, but this is a bit
yes.
of not a good look for a Hall of Fame career.
They
The
should
way
make
it
him wait a
transpired.
little bit. He should have to wait. He should
Yeah,
have
maybe
to
just a
wait
little bit
a little bit. He should
for
have to
that
wait.
nepotism, just a little bit extra.
You know what I mean? Because that was a problem. I that's the part I'll never forgive him for. Because that was literally the issue of the team, top
Oh,
to
it was
bottom, front to
culture
back.
crippling, and he's supposed to be the culture guy. It was totally flying in the face of everything he
He's the
stands for.
players coach. Exactly. I'll never understand it. And it was like he didn't check his son at all. He didn't even bother to go into that room.
And
Never.
all the
Oh,
reporters tiptoed around it. That was the crazy part. Was people could have been calling him out directly, saying like, "We want Carroll Jr. at the podium so we can, uh, you know,
rip him a new one.
expose
Yes.
him for the damage he's done to this organization." But no, it didn't
They
happen.
never did it.
That's
They
the whole
never
point of
did
the
it.
media, is to do that kind of thing, hold people accountable for their decisions and have them explain themselves. But it didn't happen.
Didn't
So
happen. It's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate. So I don't know. And we're still left with a lot of questions as far as the offensive line. We have the oldest quarterback in the NFL, and and I really want to know what, and no one's talking about it because everyone's just completely giving up on this kid, ALC. But I really want to know what happens when that kid starts playing well, even with the poor offensive line, right? Because at this point, with the way that Kubiak sets things up, I believe he has the ability to play better, even without the line, that being a situation.
When I think of AOC, I think of Sam Darnold in some ways, like that. Efficient, makes the plays at the right time, isn't going to wow anyone or blow anyone away, but does what's needed in order to keep the ball moving and allow playmakers to make plays, allow the run game to play a factor, and the pass game be a threat. So he's not like a superstar player, but he's a guy that can win a ton of games and make a bid for the playoff push, which is just something we haven't done because we've not had that. So
At all. At all. Not anywhere. Not even a little bit. It's yeah, it's been depressing, but
would
guys,
you have
what?
trusted like Jimmy, Gino, or Gardner in a playoff game
No,
with our team?
no,
No.
no.
How about an AOC? Like just for hypothetical AOC in a playoff game with the same
I'm
roster.
I'm biased. I'm biased because I mean we all saw ALC have a hell of a game, right? I believe he had a few hell of a games where
Yeah, he's had
he
good
looked
games.
like he could be it. And that's the thing. Let's build on that. Let's give a chance to build on that.
Yeah, lean into it. We never leaned
And
into it. We leaned away from it.
exactly. Bro, I've been telling people the kid's never really had a fair shot. He just hasn't. And his genetic makeup is turning into a Sam Darnold. But he's his own Sam Darnold, right? Because that's the reality. You look at his background, and that has been his background his entire career, no matter what level. He just finds a way to keep hanging around and hanging around. That's from my Rounders, if y'all don't know. That's my Rounders rendition. But yeah, he keeps hanging around, man. And at some point, the kid is going to get to really, truly show what he's made of with the things around him, right? You see what I mean? Like, it's not going to always be, well, he's running for his life, or well, he doesn't have this kind of line, or you don't have wide receivers, right? None of that stuff is going to matter. I think at some point you are going to see him shine. And it goes to show, I mean, yet again, a quarterback that he's not a first rounder, but right, drafted to a team, gets pushed around here and there, and before you know it, he's with the winning team, hoisting up the trophy. And everybody's like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah,
And we're
he's not been in any systems that are functional because
no,
Jimmy Garoppolo failed in it, Gardner failed in it, Gino failed in it. Aiden
all of them.
somewhat showed something despite all those failures. So
Yes,
it's
like you're seeing what I see, and I know the guys will be dogging me out right now because I'm still talking about ALC. I have a hard time when I remember how poorly we treated Sam Darnold. We all treated when that kid said he was seeing ghosts. I don't know if I didn't think he'd ever live that down. Right? I don't know if you remember that. I mean,
oh
good
yeah,
Lord.
early on in his career, yeah.
Everybody piled on. Everybody was
I
ranking,
mean, he wasn't playing
clowning.
good, so it's kind of
He was not.
justifiable. Like,
Well, of course, but that's what you expect in a rookie,
yeah,
right?
fair.
Especially when you're playing defensives that know they are going to wreak havoc. They
Yeah,
lick their chops because they know you're not going to know what's going
that's what
on.
you sign up for with the average rookie experience is a developmental phase that has a lot of learning curve and trials and errors and bumps and bruises. But
Yes,
yeah, impatient fan bases give opportunity to the next team.
correct. And
But also blame the organization for not setting realistic expectations from the
right.
jump. They're drafting these guys saying we're going to win now, like, and then have that kind of mentality going into the season, and then the fans are confused when it doesn't happen. Like,
Right. No, I agree. Fans are too fickle. I mean, that's the thing, man. We've been around for so long. It's so disheartening Like we're in year 20, what, 4 now? 24 years of
Since
literally since getting
our
to a playoff
successful
game
time.
that mattered. Yeah,
Yeah.
since 2002 was the last time we hit the
There's been
Super Bowl.
we've like, unless you count that one playoff game where we had a backup quarterback starting, there's been no serious games. Like there's been a couple of brief stretches of success, but very brief. I would say the biggest stretch of success we had was when Jason Campbell rattled off a bunch of wins and then got his collarbone broken. Like,
yep. Shout out to Chris, Protect the Shield podcast. Go check out
he's got some good interviews.
He's got an interview with Jason Campbell. That is a fire interview. And just to hear his
that interview
perspective
sheds a light on our organizational culture. Like we were we were in a position where we were building something and we had a slow and steady growth with Hugh Jackson and Campbell kind of forming a partnership and the team kind of rallying around those guys. And then we traded a bunch of assets for Carson Palmer and it all blew up just like that.
Yep.
Like TNT. The whole team just blew up.
I don't know if that, and I don't remember if that was a Hugh situation, right? In terms, because he clearly wanted Carson Palmer, but to give up the farm for it, I don't know who pulled the trigger. Yeah, I don't know who pulled the trigger on that. We'd have to ask. We'd have to see. We can get that info too.
I'm sure it was a long negotiation process. I assume there were probably many people involved in determining what the paid value was, but at the end of the day, we never once consulted Jason Campbell. We did that all basically behind closed doors, and that shows the kind of culture of a team we were building when the guy who was bringing us the most success we've had since 2001, basically, was basically
Rich Gannon.
We turned our back on him, for lack of better phrasing.
We did. No,
we turned our back on the only sliver of positive we've had since Rich Gannon.
Yeah, it just didn't go well. I mean, Al was completely nuts at that point. Let's just call it, right? Let's be honest. Al was completely gone. Yeah, he was completely
He wasn't the same dude that he was in years past. That was the very end.
Yep. Absolutely. And I don't know. It
seems kind of obvious now, but a lot of people probably took advantage of the fact that he was in those later years.
Oh, big time.
There's a lot of paychecks being cashed that probably shouldn't have been, and people doing things they shouldn't have been, and all that kind of stuff.
The Raider scholarship. That's when the Raider scholarship came to fruition. That was when it started. Was once Al lost all of his faculties, if you will. That's when the Raider scholarship program was implemented.
Yeah, all these power dynamics formed with tribes within the organization where it was kind of holding on to your little corner of power and not letting it go.
And I think we're still there today, unfortunately. I don't believe in our front office for a lot of reasons. I've been saying this from day one, just like our wide receiver room. I just don't have any confidence because it's pretty much the same people in the building, right? I mean, sure, the coaching staff is different, and look, I'm not trying to get people fired. I mean, I'm just calling out what I see. And I don't see a lot of those front office pieces moving around, right? And at some point, we have to change it all, I think.
The front office is a bit of a mystery. We never really know who's the decision maker in any decision. It's always just chalked up to this ambiguous, broad front office, which
just the Raiders, the Raiders, right?
Makes it very confusing.
And Mark agreed, right? And that's how it comes out. Everyone at the end of the day says that Mark agreed, so that's the way it goes. But no one knows who's calling what, and that has to go away. Like that, people have to be put in position to do their jobs and have the keys to do their job. And then move forward accordingly. And it's not happening. It's not happening. It's like I said, Tom being able to throw stones at glass houses and then just dip off into the cut and go kick it on the yacht.
Exactly. He looked like he had not a care in the world on that yacht.
A care in the world, knowing we're going into one of the worst seasons we're gonna have.
Yeah, this is a funny comment from 805. He says we have to turn things around for the sake of his alcohol consumption, because
Yes, you and me
we're all out
both.
here self-medicating for the pain and suffering being caused by this.
Pain and suffering. I rarely ever give shouts outs, right, to bears and companies. But this, have you ever heard of Toppling Goliath
No,
Brewing Company?
that can looks great though. It's very poppy.
Right? Yeah. It's
Nice,
I don't yeah. It's cool, man. And it's actually got some great taste. It's a
nice. Oh, it's got a
dinosaur.
dinosaur in it.
Yeah, man. And it has a great taste. It's made here in Decorah is how you pronounce it. Decorah or Decorah, Iowa. Um, for you Iowa people, I am in Des Moines. Shout out to Des Moines, Iowa. We got our first race off today. Shout out to my son. It didn't go out the way we wanted to, right? Because he won his heat, and that's all you can do in terms of track and field, particularly when it comes to AAU. But in terms of the finals, just didn't make the cut on the times, man. And all you can do is win your heat. But that's just one of many races we had this week.
What do
So
you mean?
trust me,
So you win your heat, but then that time is that from winning the heat is compared against other heat winners to determine the
exactly.
ranking.
And it's all random. So this is something that I learned this week, this year. And that's one of the big main differences between the USATF and the AAU in terms of track and field. USATF, they had their Junior Olympics last week, and a lot of people will know about it. It's in California every year. And that is actually the more coveted and the actual, you know, most chosen for track and field, specifically track, meaning, right, 100, 200, track. AAU is known for everything plus, right? Your pentathlons, all these other things, steeples, like just stuff that people don't even know about half the time in terms of track and field. And with that being said, we will for sure be looking to compete in USATF next year, as well as AAU, right? We'll get him in whatever he wants to get in, and as long as the dates, match up, which they usually do. But yeah, in USATF, that's the difference. They don't let as many kids in for one, and for two, if you win your heat, you're in the finals, right? And that's what it is. And these are things that you learn, right? And we knew going into it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like he didn't know that. Look, you can win 3 heats. It's not going to matter. Your time is what's going to matter. So he knew that, but again, you can only do what's put in front of you, right?
The context of a heat, how much, like I've obviously not raced in that context, so I'm wondering, like, how much is your direct competition in field pushing you as a competitor to get a better time? Like, if you're racing Usain Bolt in your heat, are you going to be pushing yourself that much more versus just Joe Schmo?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to see a lot of PRs. He didn't
Yeah.
PR today. That in itself tells you there was nothing pushing him. He didn't PR.
And that a lot, some of that might come down to just development of an athlete's mindset, like being able to, regardless of the situation, get yourself into that mindset of being the best, regardless of who you're going against.
Bingo. It's all a learning lesson. Again, this is year 2, right? This is year 2, which is even, that in itself is phenomenal. The fact that this kid is even getting to these places, year 2, while all of these, I'm telling you right now, everyone he's competing against have been doing this for a decade.
So rapid growth, but still lots of room to grow. So that's a promising position to be in.
Absolutely. So there's no heads being hung low or any of that nonsense. We still got our eye on the prize.
Nice.
We still got, plenty of races left for the week, and got to get, like you said, got to get in that mindset. That's water under the bridge. It's over with.
But it's the inevitable progress of an athlete you develop through learning experiences, and those experiences are often emotional, connected to success and failure, and it's how you take those things and apply it to your next challenge is determining the trajectory of an athlete.
Absolutely, absolutely, and y'all know Crumps don't go away quietly. So I'll just put it that way. We
Okay.
definitely got yeah, we got some business to handle, and it will
All
be
right.
handled.
Yeah. Whoever's in that
Just
next
how
heat better look out.
there you go. Exactly. This is not over, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the whole entire week, and
Nice.
please believe, yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun doing it, but we're going to obviously also take it serious and get out there and try to win, man. So, but yeah, Iowa's been Iowa so far. There's not much to do tomorrow. I think we're gonna go check out Spider-Man, the new movie. So nobody
Okay.
say anything
How
about it.
far are you
Yeah,
from Iowa University?
University of
The
Iowa, the
Hawkeyes?
the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I can't imagine we're too far. But I've been there on quite a few occasions for gymnastics, as you
Oh, cool.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter at University of Minnesota, and what I love telling people about the University of Iowa. Bro, the minute you step into that basketball arena, you know that's Caitlin Clark's joint.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I
Right. Right.
can't, oh man, I can't explain it. The goosebumps, like seriously. And I don't even watch WNBA. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not.
But there's an energy at that
There
of
is an
her presence.
energy. There is an energy in that building, and there's no way you're going in there and they're not playing Caitlin Clark on that big screen. Like it doesn't matter what event you're going there for. When you walk in that building, you're going to see Caitlin Clark's face, her,
Okay.
tape, all of that good stuff, and for good reason, man. Yeah, and it's a great. They have great facilities. Uh, yeah, I got to give it up to them, man. I've enjoyed myself there. This is my first time in Des Moines, so
Whenever I
Drake
think of the
University.
the Buckeyes, I think of like that's the mecca of tight ends and offensive linemen. They just they produce tight ends and offensive linemen at some ungodly rate. They're just pumping them out like
Yes,
every draft.
I agree. I agree. It's a great place to pull people from in terms of football.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa. Yeah, and what's funny is what I did get to see on my way to all the events and stuff today is Drake University because that's where JO's is being held.
Okay.
And their football team was practicing today. Go
Oh,
figure.
cool. Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Drake
I'll
University.
be
Drake.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's
Yep, Drake.
interesting name.
It's
Huh.
a well known school. I forget what they're known for in terms of academics, but they're definitely known for something. They're not known for sports at all. Uh, but yeah, it's been interesting. The campus is beautiful. Um, the track, the stadium, all of that stuff was awesome. The facilities look great. Yeah, and it's been a good time. I haven't seen all of it yet. Definitely, we'll plan on doing that for the rest of the week. And
Oh,
yeah,
huh. Uh, Drake's most famous event, the Drake Relays. That was so they had Jesse Owens competing at one of these relays in 1935.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's
That's pretty
right.
massive for historical interest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And they have other things that they're historical for as well. And like I say, they're definitely a school known for academics.
Yeah, and they go
Yeah,
way
people.
back, 1881. Like pretty
Yes,
old.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. People don't come here to play football and run track and stuff. They come here to get an education for the most
Yeah,
part.
it looks like they're known for law and some medicine, for
Yep.
mainly law, it seems.
Yep, makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So, but yeah, man, that's why we're here. That's why you get to see this beer, the Goliath Brewing Company. I've never heard of it, or let me get it right,
Nice.
toppling Goliath Brewing Company. If it's not far, I might go try to check it out. But from what I'm seeing, it's in the top right of the corner of the state, which means it's too far because Des Moines is like almost right in the middle. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're right in
probably
the
too
middle.
far. Yeah, it's too far. But
There's there's a lot of parks and stuff around there. I'm surprised. I don't really know that much about Iowa, but they have quite a few parks. it seems.
We drove by a lake park that looked pretty badass. There was a lot of people walking, a lot of things outside, around it, park and all that good stuff. It's definitely a focal point,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure. And
cool.
they also have a zoo. They have a zoo that we're planning to go to,
Oh, they got
hopefully at some point.
a blank park zoo. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
nice.
Not sure what's there. I have no
They got
idea, but
they got rhinos there. You got to see the
do they
rhinos.
really? They have
Yeah,
rhinos?
they got some rhinos with the the huge tusks. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they got a bunch of them.
I didn't I didn't think they could live in this climate.
No, they got them there.
You
Rhinos are pretty badass. That's
hear that, Trey? They got rhinos at the zoo. The big, huge rhinos. Yeah. I have to check them out.
yeah,
Yes,
that's a
805.
fascinating animal, the rhino. That's they're
Yes.
built like tanks, legitimately. Like
Literally a tank. 100%. Yep, yep, yep.
that's
So,
one thing I always did when I was teaching snowboarding, and often with like students or athletes. If
mhm.
there was like psychological blocks in their progress, I would often ask them to like tell me about their favorite animal and qualities about that animal, and then have
Huh.
them think about those qualities as they're snowboarding, so that they can
Right.
overcome some of their own stuck in their own head about what they can't do,
Fears.
and think about the animal
Yes.
and what the animal can do, and then allow that to work through them. That was a good technique often for especially anxiety, like people who are just on a loop. You get them to
Yeah.
think about an animal, and then they get that nice progress.
They get moving. Yeah. No, that's actually sweet. I might have to use that.
Yeah, the
I
animal
could see
that
that being useful in a lot of things.
I would always bring up the cat, because cat like reflexes are instinctual. You don't
Yes.
have to think about a cat reflex, it's just natural. So when you're on the
Yep.
snowboard, you start acting like a cat, and suddenly everything just becomes fluid and natural.
Yep.
Whereas
No,
before you
these are
might be kind
great.
of stiff or robotic, cat's natural is
Yeah.
flowing.
No, these are great analogies, man. I agree. I totally agree.
Mhm.
Um, and
I
yeah,
think it all has to do with language. You prime yourself as an athlete with language. So when you think about an animal and you
yes.
start talking about the qualities, you're filling your head with like symbols and language that's very in line, typically with athleticism, because animals are naturally very athletic. Like
Absolutely.
all
They
of them,
have to
pretty
be.
much. Like
They have to be. That's how they eat, right?
yeah, 100%
when,
true.
when
They're built for
you're
this.
relying on how you're gonna eat for the night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being an athlete kind of fits right in. So that's awesome. Well, yeah, man. Shoot. It's already been two
Yeah, we're
hours
coming
now. I
up
want to
on
be
hour
respectful.
40.
Yeah, I want to be respectful of Pig's time, man. I know it's getting late over there. Um, yeah, you got anything else you want to chop it up on before you head on
I feel
out?
like we should probably just because it's been a thread of ours that we've kept on for so long. Just touch on
Yeah,
the running back situation with the Raiders, just tying it up. Because we had some
dude.
developments talking about Laube in our previous show, and
Yes.
Hemby
Yes.
and such, and kind of just following up on those. Washington as well. Like I think
Yes.
Washington had a big day today. I didn't hear anything from Hemby, but recently I've heard a lot about Labe outperforming expectations, which surprises me because, I mean, we don't have the pads on yet. That's really where his problems come to be.
It's that you just hit it on the head. That's all he's ever had is
Yeah,
in shorts and tank tops. That's the only time you hear all of this confidence. But
yeah,
the minute he gets punched in the mouth, it's just
yeah.
not there, man. Shout out to Raider Rob, 53 in the building. Appreciate you for coming through, my dude. Hope you enjoy the show. Raiders. Yeah,
Well,
I am
do you,
mind boggled
yeah.
over this Laube thing. I'm
Do you
mind
think
boggled.
he could beat out a Hemby, or do you think it's more having to do with the fact
No,
we've invested into him, draft
no.
capital?
So, and you remember we had that discussion that we worked out Sanders, right?
Yeah,
But obviously we didn't sign him, right? We didn't
Miles
sign him.
Sanders, right?
So
Yeah,
yeah, I and that's a guy who averages 4.7 yards a carry
yeah. Productive,
and
very.
Miles Sanders. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I get,
He
and
just
this
had
is the
injuries,
thing.
right? Sanders, that was his thing, coming off of injuries.
And he's 28 years old, and I get it. People say you want to, build out of the draft and, keep young, and Lobby is that. But do we really think Lobby is going to be a guy? I just can't. I can't. I,
Yeah, he hasn't
I
shown it yet. When it comes to game
anywhere.
time, like he's not showing flashes, and he's not showing even uh, any hints of flashes. It's been a lot of
No.
red flags as far as translating his game to the NFL. But at the same time, he does seem like an awesome teammate, and he does seem like a great
Right.
practice guy, like as far as
Right.
doing
You
everything that's
know
asked of him and what have you.
that.
But
Yeah, and you know what? There is something to be said about that.
mhm.
The
He's
reality
a culture
is
guy, I guess you could say.
there, and the reality is there are some guys that have stuck around the team for that reason and that reason only. Literally, they were about to be cut, and then the locker room would say, "Oh hell no."
Yeah,
You
it
cut him
happens
the
on
whole
teams.
life, out of this place. You cut
Yeah,
that kid, we don't care he's not playing. You cut him, and you might as well cancel Christmas.
yeah. There's
And
trade offs. All things are trade offs. You're gonna cut
he's
him. Maybe you
he's
open up a roster spot for someone else, but then it hurts some of the culture of the team. Like trade offs.
and he's shaping up to be that guy, right? I mean, we've already seen him out and about in real life, if you will, right at the Knights hockey games, right?
Yeah,
Baseball. He's doing this thing, man, and I got to be honest. There is something to be said when the guys want you around. That did
yeah,
right. I
100%.
mean, there's something to be said about that, and
I
maybe that's
I
where I'm
think
losing. Yeah,
with Laube, he brings a like, obviously I don't know him, but from what I've seen media wise and how people react to him, he brings an infectious joy or happiness,
yes,
which is infectious, so it spreads. Like it doesn't just stay with
I
him; it
agree.
goes to other players, which is not everyone's wheelhouse, I guess. Like that's kind of a unique thing
Right.
that he's got going on.
No, I agree. I agree. I just don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand it because I know that room is thin. One of those top two go down and we're in trouble.
Yeah,
If
and
Janty or Washington goes down, we're in trouble.
and when we spoke last week, we were talking about Hemby having the experience in college plus the high level experience of playing in meaningful games and high level competition, crunch time kind of thing. And that even as a rookie, you kind of believe in him more than most vets, or not most vets, but a lot of vets out there, because
Right.
he's been in the big stage and the big lights and performed very consistently as a power runner. So
And we know
a guy
who's
like
advocating
Washington, I'm
for him.
less confident about seeing him play under the big lights. Like at Arkansas, there wasn't really any expectations there. Like Arkansas was not a good team when he went there, wasn't a good team while he's playing, and still won't be a
Right.
good team. They're very much like average to having higher expectations, but then coming in here. Like
So my question is, why aren't we hearing about Hemby?
Washington,
I mean,
today I heard about
no,
Washington
no,
for the
no,
first time. Oh, Hemby.
Hemby,
I
because
think they're trying to
we
hide
know
Hemby and
who's
put him on the
advocate.
practice squad.
We know who's advocating for him.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Like
Yeah.
that's his guy. To be honest,
Mendoza.
I think
Yeah.
that's why he's even on the team.
But
Right?
I also kind of think that Hemby is a guy that we want to stash on the practice squad, so there won't be any discussions around him. Like a guy like
Um,
Hondo put too much emphasis on Washington today, as well as Laube, and totally radio silent on Hemby. His entire podcast going back like for several days. Like, and Hemby's the kind of guy, as far as I can tell, like he's not a big play flash running back. He's more about
no,
consistent yards. So that's kind of where
100%.
he should be putting the focus in his reporting. But it's like if he's not having the flash play like Washington, then he doesn't get any discussion. Like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
But unless you're trying to
Uh,
stash him on the practice squad.
it's Hondo. Hondo never made sense. I tried to like Hondo. I just can't. I mean, and I'm not talking personally, right? I'm talking as a commentator, as a guy that is a beat writer for the Raiders. I've
Yeah.
tried. I've seen him in public several times, right? Shaking his hand. How's it
Yeah, no,
going, Hondo? Good to see you. It's just, I
he's
can't
got
take
his
him
brand. He does
serious.
his thing.
He does.
I
He
think he really
does.
overrates his football knowledge, and he overrates
Yes.
his understanding of the game, and a lot of other things he overrates, and he allows fans to really buy into it because then that gives legitimacy to everything he says. And it's
Right.
just the unfortunate byproduct of that is that he's often misleading people and leading them astray, and then people get confused when what he's saying doesn't line up with
Doesn't
reality, and that
work.
happens time
Yeah.
and time again. And he never takes
Yes.
any responsibility for it. He just continues
No.
moving like it's just business as
Nothing
usual.
happens.
And
Yes.
that's all fine and well, but then don't
No one
give the
calls
whole
him
spiel
out.
about how much better you are than everyone else and like elevating yourself in the profession. And like it's just it all feels
No
like
one calls him out.
it's hurting sports and it's hurting his profession, that kind of attitude and that kind of disposition.
I agree, because then people say, well, what happened? Like, and then, well, Hondo, like you hear people literally say, oh, well, Hondo said this, or right, Mo said that. Like you hear these accused said this.
Yeah, it's super
Like
common.
people can be wrong. And look, I think that's where I separate myself. Because A, I don't mind having bold takes, and B, I don't mind bringing myself to the front of the congregation and saying
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I have
Yeah,
no
fair.
problems doing that.
You
And
whenever the Bowers topic conversation comes up, you're always honest about how you took this initial stance and had to change over time with new information and such.
correct, because it didn't, and anybody in their right mind would agree with me. Why would you take a tight end right after you just jumped up in the second round to
Oh
take a
yeah,
tight
Mayor.
end the
Right.
previous year? It doesn't make sense.
No, but now in hindsight, like I'm wanting to move off of Mayor, and I was wanting to move off of Mayor before we even drafted Bowers. That's kind of where I was at personally, but
Right.
it's more incentive now that we had Bowers. And there's guys
Yeah.
starts with an R. Runyon, Carter
Oh,
Runyon, Tardent. Anyways, he's showing some promising things that I think could make Mayer replaceable. Not that I think you
yes.
need to show much to replace him. So
You
don't
and
tell teams we're
Crispy.
potentially trading him to that, but I do think he would be better off as a trade asset than as a
I don't
long-term
know. It's
player on this
got to be
team.
because of the way he runs, right? I'm not gonna lie. He does not run like a football player.
He's
Period.
not a smooth runner. No, he's very
It,
clunky. He's like
yes,
Gronkowski without any of the plus ability. Like he's
yes.
clunky, but he doesn't have speed.
That I have to admit, he does not look comfortable running. It looks like everything hurts. It looks
And
like
he's
he
always
might
making this
have an
like extreme
injury.
contact with players, but then it amounts to nothing. Like he'll just run into someone. It looks like they both got concussed, and it's like he gained no yards, and they both look shook up. It's like, what is this? You're
What is
tough,
going
okay,
on?
but for what? Like tough for what?
Yeah, I
I've
swear.
seen it over and over again with him.
Right. I can't defend the kid. Again, like I say, I see what I see.
I,
It,
I was out on him when I seen him get concussed on a block, or he got hit, I guess. It was like a big hit he took, and he just went and lined up for the next play. He was clearly concussed, like not really aware. He was confused and like dazed. And then they had him
yeah,
blocking on a crucial block on a defensive end, and the defensive end just like walked by him. He didn't even make contact and sacked the quarterback. And it's like he should have came off the field, and like someone should have had him
right,
in concussion protocol. But if a
right.
player, like I get it, you're concussed, you're not necessarily advocating for yourself, but I don't know how to put it without coming off as insensitive, but if you're
Right.
unable to block for your quarterback and your quarterback gets sacked, you should have to sit on the bench the rest of the game, like
Right.
to
No,
learn the
yeah.
consequences of like exposing your quarterback to risk and injury because you're
Yes.
not able to have context understanding of like your own ability. Like if you're
Yeah.
concussed, come off the field, because if you're not blocking for the quarterback and he gets sacked and he gets hurt, that's on you as the guy who's should have been off the field.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It's a great call. Yeah, I don't deny that. I agree. It's a tough one, man. I I get it. Again, I'm not a big hater, if you will, and I'm not calling you or anyone a hater in terms of not liking him. You
I
know,
think it's more about fit. I think he should play for a team
right?
like New
Fit.
England, not for the Raiders. Like,
He would fit perfect in New England. Just
yeah, send
they
him
would
to New
love
England.
him in New England. They would love him in New England.
Yeah,
Who do we get in
I mean,
return? We need a wide
I
receiver.
was saying a couple of years ago we should send Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, and even Trey Tucker. We should send them all to back to the return
New
to
England.
sender. Send them back to McDaniels because McDaniels had the vision for them. Like he should be the one to bring
Yes,
it to fruition,
to fruition.
not
No, I
not our
agree.
future off front office that seemingly is uncertain what to do with them.
Right. No, I agree, man. I agree. That's why this year is big for a lot of reasons, man. This is a big year. And that's the thing. It's a big year when it's going to be meaningless, like in terms of, right, the outside looking in and people that are looking at teams trying to make the playoffs. That we're not, that's not us. We're not looking at making
No,
playoffs or
that's not our
anything along that
expectation. We're
at
looking for
all.
some solid wins with some losses that don't look like we're being blown out and embarrassed. Like
Bingo.
it's a medium to low benchmark. It's down here. Like
Very much
we're
so.
not up here yet.
Exactly. But for certain players, it is as big of a year that you can never imagine. I mean, hell, Kirk Cousins, this is it, homeboy.
Uh,
It
Trey
doesn't
Tucker,
even matter.
you said
Yeah,
Trey Tucker. Like this is his year for a breakout.
this is his year. He's got to have a year. And I saw flashes with him in AOC. I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah, there
they
were some
made
deep throws. I
plays.
remember. Yeah.
They made plays together. I'd be curious to know his true feelings on the quarterback playing if he's getting
Yep.
like because I remember guys wanted AOC at one point. At least that's
Yeah.
what I recall. And hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I recall that people wanted AOC, and I'm not
During
talking people outside of
Yes. I
that
think
room.
during the Jimmy G days, Jimmy G was throwing duck balls and getting people injured, like Devonte Adams. He was getting hit harder than
That
he
was
has his entire
bad.
career. I think
That
Devonte
was
Adams was
bad.
begging for AOC at that point because AOC at least could put velocity on the ball. Like even if it's
Yes.
inaccurate, at least it's not going to get dude killed. Like
Correct. Correct. Yeah, man, and I don't, it all this is going to be I think it's a big year for AOC. I think he's going to be given the keys by force. I think I think
you'll take over
I
AOC
don't
takeover
see
time.
Kirk. Yeah, I don't see Kirk Cousins lasting even 5 games. That's going to
So
be a big take. You heard it from me. I'll be shocked if Kirk makes it 5 games. He is
yeah,
old, dude.
I would be
It
shocked too.
doesn't look good.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, he could obviously revive some of his old success, but it just seems like he's a different quarterback these days. Like he's not the same guy as he was 5 years ago.
No.
But one interesting thing I want to mention while we're still on here, as it
Yeah, sure.
pertains to AOC, during his rookie year with Jimmy G, prior to even starting the year, like with Jimmy G, I was already out on Jimmy G. Like I wasn't a
Everybody
believer.
was.
As soon
Nobody
as we
believed
were
in that
like
guy.
when we were in the process of signing him, I was like, no, just roll with O'Connell, spend Jimmy G money on offensive line so that we can help Josh
Yes.
Jacobs get maximum ability and just allow the rookie to distribute the ball to
Correct.
playmakers. And so
Correct.
I started this campaign called O'Connell for President on all the Raiders comment sections and on all the live streams. I would say O'Connell for President with the American flag beside it. And then people started all repeating the same thing. So I think part of O'Connell's rookie year was impacted by social media and the fans calling for him to play. And some of it was this presidential kind of framing of like, we're voting for our starting quarterback and we're not voting for Jimmy G. Fuck that guy. Like we're voting for O'Connell. And so I think part of why AOC unfairly became kind of polarizing is because it did become that kind of political environment. Like it wasn't unfolding naturally. The best guy wins the starting job.
It pitted him head to head. Yeah.
It became like we're starting these quarterbacks who don't deserve to start over AOC, who we know should be the starter. And then that just creates tensions and resentment and confusion and all these other things that are not helping the fan base see clearly. Like
absolutely
a lot of
right,
O'Connell
man.
discussion gets very emotional, irrationally.
Very emotional. It almost got to Derek Carr-esque
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
conversations. It
it was
almost
getting up
got
there.
there. It was getting up there. And I have a feeling it's going to come back because I think the kids got a shot this year. If the
I'm
offensive
here for it.
line can get right, if the offensive line can get right, I think this kid's got a shot. And that's the poll. We need to get to all of our brothers out here in content creation land.
Yeah,
I really honestly want to know, are people going to want to get rid of him like Sam Darnold if he actually shows out? Like,
yeah,
what
fair.
are going to be your true thoughts? Are you
Yeah,
really going to say, whatever, Mendoza? Like, are you really going to do that? Like,
yeah.
I
After what
don't
we
know,
just saw
man.
with Seattle and Sam Darnold, that's gonna be tough.
Yes.
It's a serious
I
question and one that deserves being addressed by people.
absolutely. Because if AOC shows any resemblance of what we thought we were going to have out of this kid, at this point, it's like, give him a shot. Kubiak, give him a shot. You're the only thing that seems like it's going to stick around, right? And even if that is a thing, right? We don't know if Kubiak, right? Who knows what happens after 6 weeks of this thing?
Yeah,
Like,
it's all yet to be determined. But
and
yeah,
he's calling the shots though, and that's to me, it sounds like and looks like and feels like Kubiak has the keys.
yeah, he's beating the drum, and everyone is
He's
matching.
100%. And it doesn't feel like AP where you could see his hands were tied behind his
Yeah,
back.
AP was acting half the time. He was not his authentic self in a lot of those
He
situations.
was being he was being Anthony. Right? I call him
Yeah.
Anthony at that time. He was not being Antonio. He was being
Oh, he's being
Anthony
Anthony.
Pierce.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Anthony Pierce. Like, yeah, he wasn't being AP or Antonio. Yeah, it just
No,
didn't work
it
out.
was it
It
was
didn't
very
work out.
disappointing given our expectations as fans. Like we were really
Yes.
buying into AP, the man, the myth, the
Yep.
legend, and then we got something
And
else entirely.
we got Coupon Tom. We got
Yeah.
Coupon Tom pulling
Yeah,
the
the puppet
strings and
strings. It's like
picking all of the pieces.
yeah, the
This
marionette
guy is
man.
saying tomato, Tom is saying tomato, and that's what
Yeah.
we got.
We got a big mess on our hands, and then
A
it just
big
all got
mess.
brushed away, and then we got something new.
Brushed away, got something new, and it just keeps happening. Yeah, but this time I do believe this regime in terms of the coaching staff, and I believe because of the coaching staff's pedigree, right? All of those good things. I think you'll see 3 to 5 years out of this regime.
Yeah,
There
and
will heads will roll. Heads will roll. Now, don't
yeah,
get me wrong. Heads will roll. They're going
just
to
not the
have to
head
have to.
coach.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair.
But
And
somebody's
that's
losing their
part of the
job this year.
process is you got to whittle it down to the true vision from the initial block of material you're starting with.
Right. Yep, I
Well,
agree,
Turf,
man.
I think we've definitely what do you call it? Made the best of our opportunity here with our internet and our
Yes.
StreamYard and this kind of thing.
Right. I finally figured it out, if you will. Got the best connection we could. So at least, hey, for the next time, I'll know. Try 5G, even though I'm
Yeah,
literally at 2 bars. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just no
it's been
internet good
smooth since
anywhere.
you dialed it in on that last setting adjustment.
Yep, exactly. So now we know, for the people out there in YouTube world, you could let somebody else know maybe to try 5G or what have you if they're running into these issues out of town. But yeah, man, we appreciate the participation. Shout out to all the Raider
Yeah,
Nation out there. This was a great show, especially for not, having all our bells and whistles and being out of town. So awesome, man. And as always, man, thank you, Pigs.
yeah.
Great
Thank you, sir.
takes. Yep. And yeah, till next week, man. I think in next week, not next week, but the week after is when we'll really have something to talk about.
Yeah, once we get that game
For sure.
on tape.
That Cardinals game, man. That Cardinals game.
I think I'm going to
Yep.
start back up the AOC for president campaign, especially if he shows out in the preseason.
Hey,
That'll add to
and
it.
I'm telling you right now, I think the biggest mistake they can make is have him start the preseason, because I think he's gonna go out there and just shred it up. He's not
Yeah,
a rookie. He's not, like, you know what I mean. I think this could be his year, man, and nobody's seeing it. It's just completely oblivious to everyone. They've already written him off.
Yeah, AOC.
So
I saw AOC on the sidelines last year, and he looked like something was bubbling under the surface. Like he wanted to get in the game and do something, but obviously wasn't able to. But
it's not his
this,
choice.
when he gets his opportunity, yeah, there's a serious chance for him to take it and seize it.
Yep. Yep. I agree, man. All right, Raider Nation.
All
We
right,
are out. Till next week. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
Lady
Great
Turf.
show.
Take
Peace.
it. Peace.